What's up, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. In this video, I'm going to be going over some updates for XYO. Before I get into the charts, I have a few things I want to talk about pertaining to the, as you can see here, the launch about 5 days ago for XYO Layer 1, the public beta with the XL1 wallet, the XL1 test tokens, and the Foreverize tests with regard to decentralized applications. Here, moving into the XYO website, they have a page talking about the XL1 wallet, and also the XYO token and the XL1 token, clarifying them and their relationship. Before I get into that, here we can see the XL1 wallet itself. Very similar, essentially the same experience as using something like MetaMask, which is highly popular, very widely used. Here in the top left, we can see here where you can select your network, currently with a sequence for the testnet and the beta. There's also a local option here, mainnet being grayed out as it is not officially launched. Here at the top in the middle, we can see 3 addresses to select from. Here would be where the balance is. I haven't received my testnet tokens just yet. Here we just see some send and receive buttons. There's the button up here for light mode here, dark mode. We have our button up here for account settings, and then locking it, which puts you back here to the initial screen where you have to put your password in order to unlock the XL1 wallet itself. Here on the page where we can see here for the XL1 wallet, the official digital wallet designed to seamlessly connect XYO Layer 1 and utilize XL1, the native token of the network. Store, manage, access. The XL1 wallet is the official digital wallet designed to seamlessly connect to XYO Layer 1, enabling users to store, manage, and utilize XL1, the native gas token of the network. With the XL1 wallet, users can securely hold their XL1 tokens while also leveraging them for on-chain transactions, smart contract executions, and other blockchain interactions within the XYO ecosystem. Here we can see 4 key features: secure the XL1 storage, safely store and manage XL1 tokens with built-in security features, seamless XYO Layer 1 integration, instantly connect to the XYO Layer 1 blockchain for a smooth user experience. Gas for transactions, use XL1 to pay for transaction fees, smart contract executions, and other network operations. User-friendly interface designed for both beginners and advanced users, ensuring easy access to blockchain-powered applications. Here, moving into the 2 tokens, the dual token synergistic model, which I spoke about in the, I believe it was the last video of XY. I went over a little bit more in depth there, provided some analogs, understanding its relationship, and overall gave my opinion on it, which is something I'm right now fond of. Obviously, still waiting for the official launch of the XYO Layer 1 main chain, mainnet. Still have plenty of time to tell and to find out if the goal within the relationship between XYO and XL1 will come to fruition, such as XL1 being something which will, in the long run, make XYO more stable, give it more integrity, make it more valuable, as they have claimed. Here we can see XYO Layer 1 introduces a powerful dual token model. XL1 is a utility token that fuels transactions, smart contracts, and real-time rewards. XYO, with its fixed supply, is designed for staking, security, and long-term alignment. Together, they power a scalable ecosystem built for deep data and AI. Here we can see the overview. XYO Layer 1 runs on a dual token model. By separating structure and activity, it brings performance, clarity, and resilience to the ecosystem, setting the foundation for a scalable and sustainable blockchain network. And then here we can see the 2 tokens. Here on the left with XYO. XYO is a deflationary token with a fixed supply, used for staking and helping secure the XYO Layer 1 blockchain. It offers long-term value alignment and gives token holders a way to contribute to the network's foundation. It's designed for structure, stability, and sustainable growth. Here for XL1, being an inflationary utility token built for speed and scalability with no fixed supply. XL1 fuels the day-to-day motion of the network, pertaining to gas fees, smart contract execution, real-time rewards, and more. It's the activity layer of XYO Layer 1. Again, my main concern is whether or not we will see XYO, or rather here on the right, XL1 become a token which can be exchanged, bought and sold on the middleman exchanges, whether centralized or decentralized, such as Coinbase, or some sort of decentralized exchange wallet swap. That's something I personally voiced in the last video that I don't want to see. I think it's in the best case scenario and for the best interest of the project going forward that XL1 be something that can only be earned by interacting and partaking within the ecosystem itself, such as through the staking of XYO in order to lock up a certain number of XYO in order to get in exchange a certain number, whether it's 1-for-1 or some other ratio of XL1 for your staked up, the locked up XYO on the XYO layer 1 chain itself. And see XYO here on the left, the token that's been out since I think it's 2018 or so, 2017, be the only token pertaining to XYO that can be bought, sold, exchanged on the centralized or decentralized swap exchanges to maintain the value and the desire for XYO1 or XYO over the XL1 token, because as this is a new token, a lot of people psychologically are going to think that because it's a new token coming with the launch of an actual layer 1 full-fledged blockchain, a lot of people will put more psychological vested interest in this new token for various reasons, as I spoke about, whether it was in the last video or on an X post about it, into XL1, and forget about XYO because it's the old thing. People might not understand the dual synergistic token model, and obviously perhaps it will play out like it claimed, and XYO will ultimately be embedded and powered by this, such as being more stable and having higher integrity in various sectors, and then also increasing its value over time through the staking and other mechanisms. But overall, for right now, again, personally looking forward to all this with the beta, the testnet going live eventually sometime, whether that's leading into the end of this year, sometime next year, I'd have to imagine, where we will see the full launch and we'll really start to see XYO layer 1 in action, and we'll start to see the early signs of how this dual synergistic token model works out and whether or not it will actually end up benefiting XYO in the way that it's been claimed, and best case scenario obviously to significant degrees and not just some mundane watered down empowerment of XYO by XL1. But moving here into the charts on this daily, honestly, there's not too much to talk about in the charts. I mean, generally it looks good. Bitcoin looks very, very good in my personal opinion. Went over that in the video that went up just before this one. So in order to get a broader view, more general view, full spectrum, because obviously where Bitcoin sits, its current state, heading into what I believe the final impulse, that's going to be very good for XYO, obviously, and all other altcoins. At this point, alt season has not really, at least the parabolic aspect of it. I believe alt season began when many of the altcoins you can see within a specific time frame, according to the temporal pattern that Bitcoin has led the way with, that has trickled into and permeated into the altcoin space with Ethereum, Cardano, the vast majority of the altcoins, if not essentially all of them, as I pointed out in many prior videos. But ultimately here, XYO is going to be dependent upon Bitcoin in order to continue to go higher. Not fully, obviously. There's not a sole dependence of XYO or any other altcoin on Bitcoin, but it's obviously a very important aspect. And as I said, specifically, XYO looks just fine here on the daily. We can see here still with these yellow vector candles that I've pointed out in past videos, and a post on X denoting each and every single one of these times, with the last one being back here at the actual absolute low for XYO, where this is where the bull market would have began. This was the first move. Now we're on the second, leading into the third move. It really doesn't matter how you break it up, but I believe we're heading into what people generally consider to be the alt season, where they really start to make significant gains. They actually enter that parabolic period of a bull run, or for alt season specifically. And so far with this yellow vector candle pattern that I pointed out here, XYO is up around 200%, hitting this crucial zone horizontally that I pointed out. So far it's just been going sideways, kind of trading around 1.3 cents. Currently coming down to around the 382 to 272 zone, which could be where you can see here on the price, we saw this downside, we saw this resistance here in black get broken. Bitcoin moved up to the horizontal. So far it's found resistance. Now it's trading sideways. Generally, I believe we're just seeing something where we're going to see XYO pick up here, Bitcoin's going to pick up, we're going to see the altcoins pick up, and then we'll head into that parabolic portion of alt season. Not guaranteed. Obviously, this is just my view. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's personally what I think is what is more likely than not. What is the most likely scenario right now? All evidence, both technically and fundamentally, factored in. And then look here at the RSI, we can see it finally bottomed out here, getting to the oversold. It broke the yellow retracement on a Fibonacci 457 here, which was horizontal resistance, and I believe we're seeing the RSI trade roughly sideways here around the golden pocket zone after rejection along this horizontal resistance, which was very structurally important, such as back here. And we'll see XY eventually break this and continue to go higher towards the upside. If you look here at the 2-week chart, we can still see that the ascending uptrend here is intact, going all the way back to August, late August, end of August 2024, with a recent wick low to find support along it when Bitcoin, or XYO rather here, moved up to that 2-cent horizontal resistance zone. Obviously at this point down, could come back down and retest it, maybe somewhere around just approximately 1 cent. It also could be finding a bounce here soon into first somewhere around this green zone, so just basically retesting all-time highs here, potentially moving as high as around, let's just say, I did move it up again recently, but I had been saying sometime here around the all-time highs towards around 20 cents here, but I did extend it recently up towards just 35 cents. Just general range, whether or not it sees something like this and then does something like this, or if it goes higher and does something like this. It could be obviously many routes. It could be something very simple like this. It could just essentially be one massive face melting move here up to the blue zone, which is around 50 cents here, all the way up to around $2.20, which I've derived by various means. And I've gone over those in past videos, which I will forego going over on this chart. I'm not sure what's going on, but this is the chart that I've usually gone over to show the entire price history of XYO, but for whatever reason, it was working on the weekly. Now it's not working on the weekly anymore. You can see here on the event, originally there was price action going out this entire period here. For whatever reason, now it's just disappeared. If I go to the weekly here, oh, now it's appearing on this chart. It wasn't appearing here. I wonder if it will now. Just a moment ago. See, this is the weekly, literally the exact same chart, but it's not appearing. So I had to go down to the daily here to show it, but the census starts showing it on the weekly. Again, this is what I was pointing out here, where we see this massive W structure here that I pointed out many times in past videos for XYO. Essentially, we're just seeing a repetition of this massive double bottom that leads into the all-time highs, with plenty of things falling through rather accurately. But I don't know what the issue is with this chart, but I wish this 2-weekly would work, because I wanted to go over the ASO down here. I went over this same type of analysis for Bitcoin in the video that's uploaded currently now as I'm recording this, but for this one, so if you want to see generally what the analysis is, it's essentially the same thing as Bitcoin, where you can see these crossovers here with these turquoise dots lining up with moves towards the upside for the overall price. But for this chart, finally, I just want to again point out the temporal pattern here with Bitcoin. You can see each time it had its major moves, we saw XYO following in suit, as is the typical case for the vast majority, if not all altcoins. Obviously, they all have their unique and idiosyncratic differences and their divergences. Maybe they'll go up for about a week or two or a month so longer than Bitcoin goes up. Maybe they started moving up just a tad bit before Bitcoin, because some altcoins will move a bit quicker. Like think about Solana, moving faster than most of the other altcoins. Sometimes some of them are a little bit ahead of the curve of Bitcoin, but for the most part, they generally tend to lag behind Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will top out or begin a move, and then an altcoin will begin that move and then top out that same move later than Bitcoin does. But this points out the temporal trend here, which, as I've gone over a few times in past videos at this point, is deviated by around roughly 3 months or so, which would push the all-time high towards around late June, July, early August. Currently, as I pointed out in the recent Bitcoin video, with the M2 making a new all-time high, as we can see right here recently, we could see this move extend a little bit further, which could push towards the September, October, closer to Q4. But as of right now, I'm still looking towards late summer or just, you know, like mid, roughly summer to late summer, maybe very early fall or autumn, depending upon how the M2 wants to extend, and if Bitcoin even actually continues to follow it quite precisely as it has since the beginning of the current bull run back at the end of 2022. But like I said, not too much really for the charts. Generally, everything just looks good. Bitcoin looks good. Obviously, that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong, and as always, none of this is meant to be financial advice, but still the same price targets here, as I pointed out for this green zone, here for the blue zone. XYL could also go far higher than around, you know, $2.20, which is the most reasonable high that I have here, and I've been sticking to for a number of months at this point, as it does have quite a low circulating supply, around 13 to 14 billion, so it could go far higher than just, you know, $2 to $3 or even $1. It'd still be feasible in terms of the overall market capitalization of the project. But that was all that I want to go over in this video. So as always, none of this is meant to be financial advice. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.